So about 2 weeks ago, I made a video about how I bought a cheap house in Italy. And merely 2 weeks later, completely unexpectedly, I moved in. So here I am, sitting in my bedroom, about to tell you the story about what went down these past couple of weeks. Hello everyone, my name is Bianca and I'm an Australian woman who bought a cheap house in Sardinia, which is officially part of Italy. And I'm here to share with you how the past couple of weeks has unfolded. And boy oh boy, it's been big. It's been a whirlwind, but here I am, very, very happy, very, very grateful to be actually living in my house. So some of you have asked on my previous video how I came to be here. But long story short, I had a friend who came to Sardinia and she encouraged me to come over too. She bought a house. I always wanted to buy a house in Italy. And it just made sense, at least to me, that if I was going to buy a house in another country like Italy, that it would be really nice to have someone there that I knew. Sometimes for me, it gives me a little bit of a push to actually follow through. It gives me the courage to take that step or that leap that I may not have had I been on my own. So that is what happened. My friend was here. She encouraged me to go for it because she was going for it too, and she wanted me to be a part of the journey. And it was such an exciting offer that I couldn't say no. Then, of course, I found this house and it felt like a no-brainer. I was in love with the house. It felt really good. It felt like it could even be something amazing, and it can be something amazing. And my opportunity to have my own place, which kind of felt a little bit impossible in Australia with the housing prices that there currently are there. Post-COVID, things got a bit crazy and I decided that I wanted to go out on my own and work for myself. And so in terms of money rolling in, I'm having to rely on the work that I do to achieve that. And it hasn't been as smooth sailing as I'm sure you can imagine. There's a lot to really learn and to overcome in terms of your value, your worth, and even beliefs around things like money when you go out on your own and try to do it by yourself. But I'm really blessed that COVID happened because of all of the doors that unlocked for me in that really, really challenging time. So when I came here, I was living with my friend, and just less than 2 weeks ago, the decision was made that I was to move out. And you know, whenever a decision is made that feels really hard, really challenging, that feels like you have the rug pulled out from under you in terms of your safety, your security, things can get a little bit scary. And so that was my experience. Well, that was one of my emotional responses to the situation. Of course, I didn't have very long, so I had to make some very quick decisions about what was next, what I was going to do, and how to move forward. Now, fortunate for me, I have a family who loves me and supports me. And in this time of need, I reached out to all of my beautiful family members. And they just really supported me through this experience. Feeling a little emotional as I reflect on how beautiful their support was. Their support and love was very much needed and very much appreciated. And, you know, it was there the whole time. So I reached out as much as I could just to talk things through, to get advice, and just to get that little bit of extra push, because sometimes I felt a little bit frozen, like, what do I do now? What do I do next? What is there to do? And just kind of going through the motions. I think when you're a single person, it feels like you always have to rely on yourself. It feels like you're very much alone out there in the world. And in a lot of ways you are. But I know my strength. I know my capabilities. You know, I know my parents raised me to be very independent. So with a little bit of support and love and reminders that I am always divinely protected and guided, and that everything unfolds exactly as it's meant to, exactly for my highest and my best, I knew that this challenge was here for a reason. And that spiritual guidance and support that I also received was very, very helpful. I also had a very, very random occurrence where I had a friend who reads tarot, and it was only a couple of days prior to me discovering that I was going to move. And I said to her, I would love to get a reading on my finances, on my career, and on my house. Like, how am I going to make it all happen? Am I going to make it all happen? And I'm open-minded like that. And she gave me this beautiful reading. And one of the things she said to me was, you're going to move into your house by the end of August, maybe early September at the latest. And I remember saying to her, that is not possible. I haven't done any renovations on my house. All of the workers in August, they all go on holidays, and there is nobody to help with anything, so I'm told, until September when they resume work. So here I was saying to her, you're crazy, are you serious? Like, that's not gonna happen. A couple of days later, it happened. So shout out to my super psychic friend who knows how to tune in and listen to some higher divine guidance. Anyway, I digress. Emotional week unfolded. At first I had this resistance. I reached out to all of my support team, and they really helped me to pull it all together. And then I started taking action, because of course, you've got to take action in order to make stuff happen, right? So what was next, and what was the most important thing for me actually living in my house, was 1, having power, and 2, having water. So those were my priorities. I had to get those in order to live in the house, especially water. My biggest, greatest fear was that something would be wrong with the water and I wouldn't be able to move in, or if I had to move in, I would be without a toilet. A shower, I can go without. I could make that work. Wet wipes, all of the things. It would be kind of like camping, but no toilet really stressed me out. So was really determined to make this work, and with all of that spiritual support and emotional support that I had from my friends and family, I mustered up the belief that it was gonna happen, that there wasn't an option, it had to happen. And I'm happy to say that it did. The power itself was really easy, but of course I am dealing with the whole thing in another language. Now I do speak Italian, I have studied and trained and lived in Italy for a short period of time, but it has been a long time since speaking, and I've never really had to deal with anything particularly technical. It's all been more conversational, easygoing stuff. So in terms of the power, I had some support from the geometra, and the geometra is the guy who helped me purchase the property. He helped do all the documentation, all the administration. He submitted everything for me, was really, really supportive in that. And I think that's one thing that people really need to know about and do if you want to buy your own place in a country like Italy, is to get yourself a really trustworthy geometer, one that is not going to, one that maybe has a good reputation in the town. If you speak to people and they say, you know, who's a good geometer, they'll say, go see him, he's really good. So I have mine here, and he supported me to open the account. So he created the account for me, and he said, now all you've got to do is just go in there and then activate the power, and it should get turned on straight away or in a couple of days. And I was like, okay, I can do that. So I went to the website and I started to look around, and I wasn't quite sure which one was the right option. So I reached out to someone in the chat service that they had there, and that person walked me through step by step exactly what I had to do. They were there to support me. That angel absolutely helped me to get it all happening, and I'm so very grateful to that person, because it would have been a lot harder had I not had that person saying, click on this, do this, upload this, and so on. So really grateful for that. And if you're in Italy and you're trying to do this all on your own, the beauty of being able to chat with someone like this is you've got Google Translate. So if there's something you really don't understand, you can just copy and paste the text into there, from there into the chat box, and have yourself a really easy conversation. So technology is fantastic for helping us get things done. And I thought that that was the end of the power. I thought that I'd activated it and I was just going to walk in a couple of days later and it would be switched on. Wasn't the case. They activated it, and then later on, what I didn't realize is that someone actually had to come to the house and change like the little power box thing that was in the inside of the house. But fortunately, I had been moving my stuff slowly from one house to this house. So I just happened to be in the house at the time when he rang and said, I'm outside, can you let me in so I can sort the power out? And I was like, oh, yes, I can. And within 30 minutes, he'd done his thing, and then the power was on. We tested it. It was all good to go. So power happened in a couple of days. While I was waiting for the power to unfold, I had to go into town, and I had a beautiful friend, shout out to Daniela, for driving me into the nearest city, which is called Sassari. And we went to Sassari to the water company, and we got everything sorted. I signed up for the account, registered myself with the company, and they told me that the water should already be on, that all I had to do was to turn the lever and switch the water on. But of course, nothing feels that straightforward. There are always some little catches. And I think because I had this fear of not having water, the water was the one thing that was going to be my challenge for the week. And challenge it was. And I really just had to let go, trust that it was going to be done and completed and all working by the time that I moved in on the Monday. Even though I said that all of the workers go on holidays, there were a couple of days in there where I happened to meet the plumber, and I told him my story and how urgent it was, and he said, I can help you. So he did, and he did it all for free. Despite offering him money, despite offering him a drink at the bar, he did it all for free. And just another beautiful little benefit of living in a small town where you know people and they are so generous and so kind and so helpful, and it's kind of overwhelming. And sometimes it feels a little bit hard to receive those blessings, but yeah, I'm learning. As an independent woman, I am learning to ask for help and to receive help. So the water got turned on, and then when I opened the lever, I thought I would be able to hear the water coming through, but I couldn't hear anything. And turned out there are more little pipes and levers to open within the bathroom. I had seen it before. I wasn't sure if it was closed or opened, but it was closed. And I tried with all my might and with whatever tools I had to try and open these, and they were so locked that I was unable to do it on my own. So the plumber came in, and within about 5 minutes and his muscles, he managed to open the lever. And what happens? The water starts flooding out a couple of pipes into the bedroom downstairs. So we needed to cap them because a sink used to be there. So we needed to like take off the extra pipes, cap them, and then the water would go back into the other spaces. And he assured me that it was going to be simple and that it was going to be easy to do. And this was like on Tuesday or Wednesday or something of the week, and I had to move in on the Monday. So I was hoping to get it all done so I could just get everything over here and just move in as soon as I could, right? But he said to me he couldn't be back until the Friday. Friday rolls around and he didn't show. And I phoned him and he was like, sorry, I can't make it, I'm out of town. And I was like, and he's like, do you really need it urgently? And I was like, yeah, I do. And I'd really like to clean the floors and stuff so I can move everything in. And he's like, okay, I get that. Saturday, I'll be there Saturday. Saturday rolls around. He didn't show. I phoned him and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I had a few drinks last night, I'm a bit hungover and someone's just invited me to brunch, so I'm really sorry, I'm out of town, I can't be there. And I was like, okay. You know I have to move in on Monday, right? So can we please make it happen before I move in? And he's like, yes, of course, Monday. I will be there at 8 a.m. on Monday. Famous last words. Well, he knew the importance of the move and he showed up. He didn't show up at 8 a.m., maybe closer to 11, but he showed up, he put these caps on, he tested everything, he tested and turned on the hot water, which, oh my God, the hot water works as well. And we had water, oh my God. So thank you, God. Water, power, check. Bianca gets to move into her house. And here we are. So there's been so much going on. I've been working during the week. I work one-on-one with students online. I'm an ex-teacher, so I coach students. That's one of the things that I do. For those of you who have been asking me what I do to make money, I work online. So between working and trying to get all my stuff sorted, it has been a really exhausting week. The other things I needed to organize were a fridge, the bed. I am using a mattress that was already here. It's clean, doesn't smell. I have cleaned it myself as well, mattress protector, all of the things. That said, I just ordered myself a bed just yesterday, so that will be coming in the next couple of days. So I will have a new bed very soon. But for the time being, I'm good. In terms of the fridge, that's a whole other story. But once again, a very generous soul, bless your heart, Patricia. She lent me a fridge, which is just a godsend. Now, the two biggest challenges of living in a house that is not renovated, well, there are many challenges. The lighting, I needed to sort the lighting. So I bought 2 lamps, and unfortunately one of them that came from Amazon was unable to be put together because they made a mistake in the wiring. So I had to send that back, but I had one light. I have one light that you can see works in the hallway, and the rest of the situation is just like a wire hanging from the ceiling. There's no actual connection for a light bulb, so often I am without lights, but there's one downstairs, and then I managed to find a little store here in town, and I saw a lamp as I was walking past the window, and I walked in and I said, can I have that lamp, please? and it's quite a little lamp, so it's in the bathroom because the bathroom doesn't even have a single like light at all. So it's like perched up on the top of a cabinet, and that's providing my light in the bathroom, and it's working a treat. So I have enough lighting, but if I'm honest, like when it comes to nighttime, I like being in the dark, so it works for me. I also don't have air conditioning, and it is summertime here, so I bought myself a fan, and that is helping me. Fortunately, I love, love, love the heat, so being a little bit hot and sweaty doesn't bother me at all. And then of course I bought other bits and pieces. I bought some towels. I already had some sheets that I brought over with me from Australia, so I'm using those, but I will need to obviously buy another pair. I had some absolutely beautiful donations from some other friends who happened to just have a bunch of stuff that they were wanting to get rid of. So I got a wardrobe and some drawers. And I also got a little cabinet that is downstairs in the kitchen. The other challenge is that there is no kitchen here. So it's kind of like I'm camping a little bit. I've got a fridge. I'll show you some footage of what my situation is like downstairs. Right, so this is where we are at currently. We have the loaner fridge in the corner there, a beautiful loaner fridge that I'm so grateful for. This cabinet was gifted to me. This little burner was also gifted to me, so I'm able to cook. I basically put dishes that I wash here if I leave them to dry, or just to place them and then dry them. This shelf was upstairs in the bedroom, so I've brought it down, and you can see the shelf here, and I'm gonna put it in here. I know, guys, it's not ideal to live with all of this damage on the walls, but it's not moldy smelling or anything like that. It's just literally, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so this is my kitchen setup as it is, and this is how we'll be living until the renos get started. So like I said, I'm really grateful to be in here and bit by bit making it happen. Now, there was a little bit of furniture here, and you probably, if you watched the house video, you would have seen that there was all this like old rubble of the kitchen that was here previously. And the plumber was also a godsend because he phoned a friend who is a guy who has a truck who collects and takes all of the stuff that you don't want to the tip. So he came in on the Saturday, which was perfect timing because I was moving in on the Monday, and he took away a bunch of furniture and rubble and stuff from all of the floors, him and his mate, and they took that all away, which was fantastic.
So fa la foto anche. Yeah. No, aspetta.
So not having a kitchen is a pretty big challenge. I think the biggest challenge is not having a kitchen sink, because where do you do your dishes if you don't have a kitchen sink? A part of me was like, maybe I just buy a dishwasher and get that hooked up. That could be a way to go about it. But for now, I'm just trying to do things on the cheap. And I'm also just trying to be mindful of not consuming too many things, not buying too many things, because I don't know what I'm going to want to keep when I do the renovations, which will start from September onwards. So I thought I could buy like just a cheap sink or something and just get it hooked up. But if it's just a few weeks or even a month or 2 months, I'm kind of doing okay. I've got a plastic tub that I fill with water, and I do my dishes in the tub and dry them, and we're good to go. So a little bit like camping, but it's working. The bathroom has been a little bit of a challenge for me, simply because the shower situation is not ideal. They don't have a shower that's like hanging, so I could get like a hook put in so that I can stand up in the bath. But that's really like a super first world problem, right? So I'm not going to fuss with that too much, because if I put it up high, then I'm going to need to get a shower curtain installed, and I think it's all just a lot. So it's kind of nice to just take my time and sit down in the bath and just bathe myself, not in a bath, but just holding the shower and doing it that way. So that's what I've been doing at present, and it's a nice time to just have with myself and just relax and just, yeah, and just do it con calma, as they say here in Italy. The thing about the tub as well is that the tub is like super rusty in some places, like on the wall of the tub, and it's currently got all this masking tape over the top, and I want to re-tape it purely just to cover it up because it grosses me out. Because really there's nothing I can do about it other than pulling the tub out and replacing it. There's nothing I can do. So until renovations happen, that is going to be my situation, and I'm okay with it, right? It's not ideal, but in the future, I know that I will look back and I remember this time when it was oh so stressful, that week when I suddenly had to move in, but I made it happen, even though I had to sleep on a mattress on the floor and have no kitchen and all of the things. But yeah, it's totally okay. I'm okay with it, and I'm making it work, and I'm very, very happy to be in my house. It's very, very cool. I will share one more thing before I go, and that is that we had a really large storm roll in 2 days ago. It was a huge amount of water, and there were some parts of Sardinia that were covered in ice, in these big chunks of ice. We were fortunate enough that we didn't have that, thank God, but there was a bucket load of rain. It was very, very heavy, and it was kind of coming sideways. Needless to say, it was coming straight on my front door, and it went straight under my front door. So I had a big puddle of water. Fortunately, it's all tiles at the front door. Once that kind of heavy rain passed, or the wind changed a little bit and it started going in another direction, it was fine. So I was able to mop it up, and that was fine. But because of the rain coming in on that angle and beating on the front of the house, it also triggered my front doorbell, which is obviously old wiring. And all of a sudden, I was actually on a call with a student, and all of a sudden it sounded like someone was ringing my doorbell. And it sounded like they pressed it twice, and I was like, okay, someone's at the door. I don't know why someone's at the door when it's pouring rain, but someone's at the door. And then they held the button down, and it just didn't stop. And I was like, wow, okay, maybe it's because it's raining so hard outside that they're like, let me in, or hurry up, come to the door. Like it sounded super demanding. But no, it was the wiring that had gone bust. A lot of people were reaching out to me actually because of the intense rain, and they're like, are you okay in your house? Do you have power? Are there any leaks? Are you okay? And I will say there were leaks. So if you notice in the house video, there's a lot of water damage in the third floor, in the hallway, because of the roof tiles that are broken and the water is seeping in. And with that amount of intense rain, it was just starting to drip. And I just heard a drip when I was in the room, and I was like, damn it. And so it was just one drop, and you can see it was coming in where all of the rendering or the wall was falling away. So really got to get that done. That's my number one priority, to redo the roof entirely. But anyway, a friend reached out to me and she asked me if I was okay, and I told her my issue with the bell, and she said, "Oh, I've got the name of a guy, give him a call." And then literally within 2 minutes, he was knocking at my door, and just another angel to arrive into my life this past week. And within about 5 minutes, he had deactivated the alarm, completely pulled it out actually because it needs to be replaced. And then I was able to turn the power back on and there was silence. Of course, I offered him some money for his time and his effort, and he refused to take it. So once again, receiving abundance and blessings from all of these amazing people in this town, and making these connections with these really special humans that have time and space for other people that I haven't really experienced in this way before. Anyway, my friends, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for checking out the house video, because I know it was a massive hit, and I am so, so grateful that so many people checked it out, that so many people liked the video, that so many people subscribed to my channel. I am seriously, seriously blown away by the response to the video. So thank you if you've tuned in all the way to the end, and please, of course, give this one a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And the next video I'm going to make is answering more of the questions that you all left in the house video. There are so many questions that I want to answer. So thank you once again for tuning in, and I will see you very soon. Okay, ciao, ciao.
Casino, che casino.
It's moving day today. It's been quite the week. And I'm just sitting here on my steps in my house, eating a focaccia because that was all I could find when I was in the shop. Whew, I'm so tired. I want to sleep for a week. But I'm very, very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful to finally be going to live in my house. I didn't imagine it would happen this way, but here we are, and I'm excited.